Maximus Decimus Meridius.
I am your father.
You like Huey Lewis on the news?
Yes. And you're not sure about this, are you?
You're gonna die, clown!
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss? Sam, the most you ever lost on a coin toss. Call it.
Whose motorcycle is this?
It's a chopper, baby.
Whose chopper is this?
Zed's.
Who's Zed?
Zed's dead, baby.
Bring out today!
This is a tasty burger.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Wait a minute. You ain't heard nothing yet.
Welcome to the fucking show.
Hello, welcome back to See What Sticks, a podcast about everything and nothing. I'm your co-host, Russell.
Hey, this is your co-host, Shawnn.
And yeah, we have Shawnn with us. Shawnn is a first-time co-host, and Shawnn is actually with us in person, which is a first in a very long time on the show. So, Shawnn, how do we know each other?
That's a good question. We met at the gym. Yeah, working out, and had a question about doing some kind of exercise, and then I looked for the biggest guy in the gym, and there you were.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. We are actually recording outside, if you guys can hear the echo, or the lack of echo. We're recording out in my backyard in, like, a gazebo type thing, because it's a very nice night. However, there are mosquitoes, so that's definitely a thing. And there's an airplane, so you're going to hear the sounds of nature. I think the last time I recorded outside was in Mexico. Yeah, lawnmowers.
Very naturous.
That's what this show is about. It's about lack of preparation and just doing it as half-assed as possible.
Heck yeah.
So, Shawnn, let's talk about how... So, we met each other through the gym, and it turns out that we had a bunch in common, and we knew a bunch of the same people. So, I don't ever say what town I'm from for people who listen. People know I'm from Chicago. So Shawnn, how you're 2 years older than me?
Yeah, 25. You're 20.
23.
23.
Yeah. So Shawnn is 2 years older than me, and he went to the high school in the town that we both live in. And we have a bunch of mutual friends, and that was a thing that we both realized is, oh my god, you know all the same people as I do.
Guy?
Hey. Yeah, you know this guy? Oh my god, I used to swim with him, or I used to work with him. So that was the thing that Shawnn and I learned. And then we've also become friends with DeAndre, another guy through the gym, who I'm trying to get DeAndre on the podcast. I've been trying to get him on the podcast since November.
Since November of 2013?
Yeah, exactly. I've been trying to get him on forever.
Wow.
And
what's his excuse?
It's always something. You know, we were supposed to go down that weekend back to my apartment, but then I developed a knee issue.
Oh, right.
And so that was his excuse that time. It was like, oh, well, I'm not going. But hopefully DeAndre's listening to this. DeAndre, you better come on the podcast.
Yeah, bro, come on.
Yeah, and we can have all three of us on. Usually Emma would be on. Emma was supposed to be on this one, but she's actually working on her house right now. She's doing some, bathroom repair. She's fixing a toilet. She's actually installing a new toilet into her house.
Oh, that's cool.
So
you should get. Is she getting one of those high-tech toilets, those Japanese I
hope so. I don't know.
Spray your butt after you do your business.
You know what? I actually don't know what kind of toilet it is, but I know she's getting a new toilet put in her house, and she's working on it.
Okay.
So that's why she's not on right now.
Oh, okay.
But she was going to be on as well. So yeah. So Shawnn, let's talk about something. I've mentioned this in a previous podcast, probably 30 episodes or 20 episodes ago. You went to Taiwan. So
I did, yeah.
You're from Taiwan. Can you talk about... You don't have to talk about why you went back. You went twice. You don't have to talk about why you went back because it's a personal-ish thing.
Sure.
But can you talk about Taiwan and the U.S. and coming to the United States?
Yeah.
So to preface this, I'm also... I'm a dual citizen, or kinda. I was adopted. I'm from Russia. I live in the U.S., but I came here when I was 1 year old, so I don't know anything about being from another country. I'm very well integrated into American society. I like French fries and cheeseburgers and stuff, you know.
Hey, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
And so, Shawnn, can you give us some backstory?
And, sure. So I was dropped off a plane at 2.5, just thrown down. So I came here when I was 2.5, I think 3. and we lived in a Chicago suburb near Chinatown, and I lived with my grandparents for quite a while, probably from 2.5 to 10 years old, maybe 11, and then I moved to the west suburbs.
Yeah.
But during that time, I went to a very a Catholic school, private, and it was really cool meeting a lot of people that were also in the same situation I was. They were either here at 3 or 4, or they were just born here, but they have a lot of like Asian culture back at home.
Yeah.
And it's really cool balancing the two worlds, especially when I moved from, I think it was 3rd grade to 4th grade is when I moved to the west suburbs. No, 6th grade. I'm sorry, 6th grade.
Yeah.
But before that, it was like just a lot of like similar people. We would speak like Chinese or Mandarin, and English at the same time. And there was Cantonese too. So I was really like kind of comfortable until I moved out here, and it was like, oh man, I don't see anybody that looks like me anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think, especially in the western suburbs, very close to the city where Shawnn and I both live, there's a very, very heavy Hispanic population. Not as much in the towns that we live in. However, like one town over, very, very heavy Hispanic population and pretty heavy African American population. But in this area, and a lot of Polish people. A lot of Polish and Irish people.
Polish food.
Yeah, so good. But there's not very many like Asian families in this area. Maybe a few?
Maybe a few, yeah. There's probably like 2 or 3.
Yeah, there was like
when I was in school.
Yeah, there was like 1 or 2 from. We went to grade schools literally across the street from each other. There was like 2 Asian families that I knew of, like my year.
Yeah.
And then at the grade school you went to, I think I knew of like 1 or 2 that were my year as well. But that's about it. A lot of white kids.
Yeah, which is good because it's like before that I really didn't. What should I say? I don't know if assimilate is the right word, but it's nice to like go home and have a different culture, and then when I am out of the house and in school, it's like a different kind of environment, different views on things, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. So at
Living
home,
in both worlds.
At home, your parents and you're an only child.
Yeah.
You guys don't speak English at home.
Oh no, not at all. Yeah. No, very, very rarely.
Yeah.
Yeah, only when I'm trying to like make fun of them, I would say it in English and be like, blah 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 blah. And they're like, what did you just say?
Yeah. So,
but now that they're catching on, they're like, oh, I know what that means now.
And your parents, we're not going to say what the business is just because for location wise.
Sure.
But your parents own a business.
Yeah.
A very successful business around here.
Yeah. It's a neighborhood thing. It's really cool. I think my dad and my mom got it back when I was in like middle school. I believe,
okay.
So like 1999.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
okay.
So it's been a while.
Damn, I actually did not know that your parents owned the. It's a restaurant. What his parents own. I didn't know your parents owned this restaurant since then. That's like nuts because I've been going to this place since I've been as old as I can remember. Because around here, it's if you want this particular kind of food, you go there. It's like everyone in my town knows it's like that place. And there used to be a place where I used to live, right by like downtown by. It's one of the names of the 7 dwarves.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That place used to be open, but it closed.
Oh, okay.
Like 2 or 3 years ago. So now,
really,
yeah. So now the place where your parents own is like the de facto. If you want this, you go there. Yeah. So I'm sorry for being so vague to the people who are listening. I just keep a little bit of anonymity about where I live. Just for podcasts. Yeah, because also there's like scary people online. The reason I started doing that, actually, if any of you who are listening and Shawnn know, there's this YouTube channel called the Slow Mo Guys. They like do slow motion stuff.
Right,
you know, they
science stuff.
Yeah, they
I
just
love
science
those guys.
Yeah, so they just film stuff exploding in slow motion
Uh-huh.
or doing things in very, very like 10,000 frames a second. And their names are Gavin and Dan, and they live in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
And
Oh, in the U.S.?
Yeah,
I thought they were British.
They
right?
are British, but they moved here.
Oh, okay.
Because they work for a company called Rooster Teeth.
Oh. Oh, yeah, that's big.
Yeah,
it's like a gaming thing. Or...
Yeah, so Slow Mo Guys is like a subsidiary of it.
Oh, okay.
And
I didn't know that.
yeah, and through that, someone somehow found where Gavin and his wife live and came and shot up their house.
What?
And they broke in, and like the guy who broke into
anyone
the
hurt?
No, they like had a panic room or something in their
Holy
house
shit.
and hid, but called the police, and the invader was shot and killed by police.
gosh.
So I try to keep a little bit of anonymity about where I live
Yeah.
and like locations near me.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, I always like to stay a little bit like
Stay
vague.
safe.
Yeah, I mean, people know I'm from Chicago. I revealed the fact that I went to Purdue University in Indiana a few weeks ago when I graduated. But yeah, that's about it. And Shawnn, you're a grad student right now, right?
I am, yeah.
You can say where you go to school. There's a lot of schools in Chicago.
Oh, well, let's just say I go to
Yeah,
grad
Shawnn,
school.
Shawnn's a grad student right now. And yeah, that's, I guess, the next step for me that I'm freaking out about.
Yeah,
But
no need.
So let's talk about you. So you've been a U.S. citizen basically your whole life. You've lived here. You have an accent. You're the most assimilated
Really?
person.
I don't have an accent?
No, dude.
I feel like I do.
Really?
Yeah.
Your parents have a bit of an accent because
They do. Yeah, they do.
But you don't.
Okay.
You probably have the same amount of. You have a Chicago accent like I do.
Do I really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I know, but you're not like a Dump Bears. Not like one of those.
Nah.
Like you're not one of those guys.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Bears.
So what was it like when you went back to Taiwan this winter?
Oh, yeah, it was really nice. I haven't been back since like when I was 15 or 16.
Mm-hmm.
It was very eye opening because every time I go back, it's very different. The last time I was back was when I was again 15, and it was a lot of like innovation, new buildings being propped up, a lot of tech. I think this was back in 2010 or 9.
Okay.
So a lot of like it was like with a lot of computer chips and computer stuff was being built here, which is still is. But when I went back this time, there was still a bunch of like skyscrapers being built, which I didn't like because like it blocked a lot of the mountains.
Yeah.
And a lot of the areas are just being like really polluted with construction and all that stuff. So yeah, this time when I was back, it was kind of polluted. And I went to Taipei.
Yeah. So for people who are listening who may not know about Taiwan, can you explain geographically it's an island?
It's an island,
So can you explain, like, is it a big island? Is this like where is it located on the planet?
Sure. It's a small island next to China, right below Japan, right above the Philippines, so like the equator area. And it's supposedly part of China, but the people of Taiwan they're trying to claim Taiwan as an independent country of China. But yeah, that's where it is. And the size-wise, it's probably the size of Illinois, maybe a little smaller than Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very small. It's very small, but very mountainous.
Yeah.
And the population is pretty dense.
Yeah, and in Taiwan, what's the national language?
It's Mandarin and Taiwanese. I think it's called Taiwanese, but there's like an official word for it. It's like Hokkien or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too sure. I just call it Taiwanese, but Mandarin and Taiwanese, but mostly Mandarin. Yeah.
So, of course, at home. So you're speaking Mandarin at home.
I'm speaking Taiwanese.
Oh, you're speaking Taiwanese.
Yeah.
Can you speak Mandarin as well?
I can, not as well as Taiwanese because I just need to practice my Mandarin, honestly. It's like at a second grade level.
Oh, really?
Compared to my Taiwanese, which is at like a third grade level.
Yeah.
But they're about the same. But yeah, we speak Taiwanese at home just because I just grew up with it with my grandparents. And, and they always speak it.
Can you write in Mandarin or Taiwanese?
I can, very slightly.
Okay.
But I used to be able to write a lot. But it's like one of those things where if you don't use it,
you lose it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like very complex. Like every letter is like a little picture.
Yeah.
That's how it's kind of derived from.
Yeah.
So like if you wanted to like write like water, it would be like
It'd be like
water.
It'd be the character for that.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but my parents have told me there's a zoo very close to where we both live, and since I used to have a Russian like babysitter, and she spoke to me in Russian until I was probably, I don't know, 5 or 6. There was times apparently when I was at the grocery store with my mom and dad, or I was at the zoo, and there's a lot of Russian and Polish people around here. If people would be speaking Russian, I'd reply to them in Russian as a kid. And my parents were like, oh my God, we don't know what to do or say. And I don't remember that at all, obviously. But I do remember that I used to know a bunch of Russian words, but I don't anymore. Like, it's that part of your brain where you're like, I did used to know that.
Yeah.
But it's all gone now.
It's in there.
Yeah, and it'd be cool to learn it again. But I don't know. That's a lot of time and a lot of everything else in life. And maybe one day I'll get back around to learning it. And people say if you used to know it once, you can pick it up like that.
Yeah, it's like stored in your like internal like bank file.
Yeah,
brain.
I know.
You just have to unlock it.
Yeah, you know what?
It.
I know, but that's a lot of time right now.
It is.
Yeah, so let's talk about what is, for people who don't know, because I know some of the people listening may have never left the country or may have never experienced like an Asian culture. What is Taiwan like?
It's very hot. So only go and visit. If you want to visit, just go in the wintertime. It's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be like 70. Depending on where you are, it's going to be like 76 and sunny all day if you're in like southern Taiwan. Northern Taiwan is always raining. So like Taipei, which is the capital of Taiwan, if I didn't mention that earlier, it rains a lot. So be prepared.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's pretty nice in the wintertime. If you go in the summertime, you're going to be changing your shirt like 3 times.
It's muggy.
It's very, very muggy. It's like, I haven't been to Florida, but it's probably like Florida.
Yeah.
Maybe worse.
Yeah, it when I was down in Mexico for a while, Mexico gets muggy. It's like that where it's like walking through sponges.
Yeah. I would think Mexico would be like dry, no?
Where in Cancun, since it's the jungle.
Oh.
Dude, it gets so hot and so muggy. It's just like breathing through a wet towel.
Yeah.
And you're just like, this is the worst. Like, you're outside for 5 minutes and you're drenched and you're like, well, my day's over.
Yeah.
I might as well just go back and lay in a cold bed.
Yeah, that's pretty much Taiwan in the summer. So if you want to go, try not to go in the summertime.
So, if you had to recommend one kind of food for someone.
Oh, yeah, I was going to get to that. Oh. Well, the national dish, I think, in Taiwan is like, it's called a beef noodle soup. Well, there's a bunch. But my favorite is the beef noodle soup, which is like they braises like all these parts of a cow in the soup, and they add all these like spices and stuff, and then they scoop it to you with like noodles and like all these pickled vegetables, and it's very mouth-watering, very delicious. And every like little region in Taiwan has their own little specialty. There's this, I'm going to pronounce it, but I hope I don't butcher it.
Yeah.
But there's one that's called like Hong Shao, which is like red. It's called red. I don't know. It's like red seasoned or something. It's like a darker broth of it's just like a style. I think that's in the north.
So is it kind of like, for people who don't know, I'm going to go over your head. I'm sorry. For people who do know, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Is it like pho?
It's. If you're gonna be analogous, like pho is for
Vietnamese.
It's from Vietnamese. Yeah, you could say it's kind of like Taiwan's pho. Yeah, but it's completely different because pho is like rice noodles.
Yeah.
And beef noodle, the noodles are typically made from
like wheat.
Wheat or flour. Yeah.
So for people who don't know, pho is a Vietnamese noodle soup dish. And it's PHO. If you've ever seen that, if you've ever seen it written on like a restaurant or a menu, it's pronounced pho, not pho. Like paho. Because I've heard people say paho. Yeah. Or like ramen for Japan, and most people know what ramen is, but most people have never had real ramen.
When they say ramen, they think like cup ramen, like the Maruchan ramen or whatever.
Not
for
like
99 cents.
Not the stuff with like the chashu pork and like the egg and all the good stuff.
Yeah, I love taking people to get like real Japanese.
It blows their
ramen.
mind.
It does. It's it's like umami.
It is. If you want the most like unctuous umami taste, where like you'll be sweating one bite in, and it'll be so much sodium that you think that you're gonna die. Go get some ramen, but it's delicious. It's like one of those things that your mom would cook for you. It's like the most home kind of meal. Don't eat it in the summer though; it'll ruin your day. Eat it in the winter. Like in Chicago, it gets very cold here. Ramen is perfect for a winter.
Yeah, very
day.
cozy for winter.
Yeah, if today, I don't think I'd eat it today. It wouldn't be.
I would. Let's say give it a couple hours out here, get a little chilly. I would eat it.
Okay, yeah. You know what's really good? Ramen without the broth, the dry ramen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Have you had that?
Yeah. There's a ramen place that Shawnn and I and Emma now always go to. Sorry, someone just texted me. This is breaking the fourth wall, guys. I'm a real person who gets real texts from real friends.
No,
but,
that was just me, actually, guys.
Yeah, it's just Shawnn texting me in the middle of the podcast, sitting next to me, trying to ruin it. But now, but yeah, there's a ramen place that we've taken Emma to and a bunch of my other friends that's like 30 minutes from here, and they have like this brothless ramen. Dude, it's so good.
Oh,
you gotta try it.
I know what you're talking about.
And
I have to try it, yeah.
With that, you can get extra noodles and extra stuff because the broth doesn't fill you up.
Smart.
If you want extra noodles and extra like sustenance, rather than just soup, just try it. It's really good and has the same flavor. It's just not so much liquid. Really good. So, what is like a big misconception people have with Taiwanese culture versus like something like Japanese or Chinese or Korean? Like, what's something that's very distinctively like, I'm Taiwanese because this blank thing?
Oh, man.
I know I'm asking the hard questions.
That is a hard question. Well, I think this is just me, but I guess when someone asks if you're Chinese, I'm just like, nope, I'm not Chinese. I'm Taiwanese.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that Taiwanese like pride kind of thing going
100%.
on. Yeah. And then I guess I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if I can answer that.
So what is one thing that like Taiwan does that no other like Asian country does? Like what's like this is like, so like let's say, I mean sushi is everywhere, but that's a Japanese thing.
Oh, so you're talking about like food
or something like that, or like kimonos or like samurais. That's a Japanese, or like ninjas, Chinese. What is a Taiwanese like?
Japanese actually ninjas.
Oh yeah, sorry. I offended someone out there. But like with Chinese, you have like Chinese where like the terracotta army. You get that's a Chinese thing versus a Japanese
like iconic things.
Yeah, and like the
Taipei 101. That's a tower.
Yeah, the big. For people who don't know what that is, look up the tower. It's super cool looking.
Yeah, it's in Taipei. It's very cool. I think it used to be the tallest building. Maybe
it did. Yeah,
back in like 2000, early 2000s.
It's one of the buildings that beat the Sears Tower.
Yes.
The one that beat it is the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. That's taller.
Yeah, recently. Yep. Yeah, but yeah, Taipei 101 is a pretty good distinction. It's really unique because it's built with like a really big ball boulder in the center of the tower, and that kind of like helps stabilizes the tower when there's an earthquake, which is pretty prone in Taiwan.
So there's like a pendulum in it to help balance it?
Yeah. So the design is really cool.
If you guys don't know what it looks like, there's a traditional Asian building style that people know with like the roofs. The building looks like that. It's like a bunch of those stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
The Taipei 101 building is very interesting looking. What's in there?
There's a big ass shopping center in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a shopping center. I think people work in there as well. Like office space. Mm-hmm. But it's like, yeah, there's a big shopping center. There's a museum in there, like a small museum in there, I believe.
Cool.
And I think they have like the fastest elevator.
Huh.
Or used to have the fastest elevator. I've been on that elevator once the last time I was there. Yeah, it was really quick. It's like one of those things where your ears just like pop instantly.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like going up from floor 1 to floor 30 in like 10 seconds.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you some questions about Chicago and the U.S., even though you've lived here your whole life, just like I have. I'm going to do some overrated, underrated type questions. The Sears Tower, is it overrated or underrated? Even though it's not called Sears Tower anymore. I know.
Man, I feel like Sears Tower is underrated because it's like one of those low-key things. It's just, people just see the tower and it's just like, oh, hey, it's a tower, but it's not. It's Chicago. It's so iconic.
It is iconic Chicago. Have you been to the top?
I have been to the top a few times.
I haven't been to the top since they did the walkway thing where you can look down on the city.
Oh, okay. The glass?
I haven't been up there in like 15 years. I feel like every Chicagoan does it like once or twice and then you never do it again.
Yeah.
But I need to go again. That's, as a Chicagoan, I know.
It's a to-do list for sure. And the new Ferris wheel.
Yeah, I haven't done that.
Pier.
Yeah, I haven't done that.
Yeah.
What else about the Sears Tower? Do you know why it's designed the way it is? For those of you listening, I know this makes bad radio or bad podcasting, but look up the Sears Tower. Most of you, I'm sure, know what it looks like. It's a very iconic design. Do you know why it's designed like that?
Porque.
The architect was holding a bunch of cigarettes in his hand and pushed them down at different levels and held it up and was like, I want to look like that.
Dang.
I'm not kidding. That's
All
why.
right.
That's why it's like tiered like that, where it's like one like pillar, and then there's like different ones coming around it. It's because it's designed to be like a handful of cigarettes.
And they made the antennas white too, so it looks like
exactly. Yep.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's like why the Sears Tower is designed the way the Sears Tower is.
I had no idea. That's true.
Yeah.
And they would have a cigarette because their cigarettes were really big back then, right? It was built back in like 19 what?
That was probably like in the 50s when cigarettes were still healthy.
Oh yeah, healthy. Yeah, exactly.
It's when like it's like the only cigarette for your kids is Marlboro Red or whatever.
Camel.
Camel, the perfect cigarette for a young lung.
Oh yeah.
But okay, are you Cubs fan or Sox fan?
I want to say Cubs fan, but I really don't watch baseball. I can't really say that.
Yeah.
But
if you had to pick.
If I had to pick, Cubs because it's just
because
I like
the Sox
Cubs
suck.
And Sox. Yeah, Sox fans would suck.
Yeah. And U.S. Cellular Field, which is now guaranteed low rate field, is garbage. It's in the worst neighborhood ever. It's like, actually, the neighborhood it's in is getting better, but it's just like not fun. Like Wrigleyville is fun. Like people go to Wrigleyville to go party.
Yeah.
No one goes to wherever the hell the Sox stadium is to go party.
I think I've been there one time. You're right. I've seen it one time. It looked kind of.
It's a little
in the middle of like.
It's a little seedy.
Yeah.
And I mean that's not like anyone's fault, I guess, but it's just like it's not as cool of a location because people go to Wrigley Field as like a vacation spot, and like people are like, "Oh my god, you gotta go to Chicago, you gotta see Wrigley Field."
Yeah.
The lake, overrated, underrated.
The lake. I think it's overrated.
The lake is super. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
The lake is full of garbage.
Yeah, they say it's like amazing, and it's pretty nasty. I want to say.
Yeah. Have you ever been in the lake?
No. All the rumors I hear, like I know I don't want to be in there.
So yeah, I used to sail all the time, pretty competitively, and there's a thing like in the ocean, you can't drink ocean water, right? When you're sailing, that's a big thing. If you get thirsty, you need a water bottle on you.
Okay.
Lake Michigan is fresh water. If you get thirsty, you can drink Lake Michigan water. And I have. It's been like 85, 90 degrees. You're sailing. There's no wind. You're just baking on a boat, right?
You have no choice.
And you're like a mile away from like land. So you just stick your head in.
You got a Tom Hankin, man.
Yeah, you got it. You got to do it. And it's the most disgusting thing ever because it tastes like raw fish and motor oil. And you're like, this is the most disgusting stuff in the universe.
You can actually taste the raw fishness and the.
Oh, it's like fishy, oily, gross. It tastes like dirt. Lake Michigan water is the most disgusting stuff.
That's nasty.
And the water here in Chicago is gray. It is not blue and beautiful. It is like gray, and it's like full of diapers and syringes and dead bodies. It's disgusting.
Ooh.
Yeah. So for those of you wanting to come to Chicago to swim in the lake, go up towards like Milwaukee's gross as well. Milwaukee's even more gross than Chicago. Go to the other side. Go to the Michigan side of the lake, and it's really nice and blue and pretty.
Sponsored by Michigan.
Yeah, sponsored by Pure Michigan.
Pure Michigan.
Yeah, Pure Michigan. Travel today. Go to Pure Michigan. Okay, so here's something that I think you and your girlfriend Jessica brought up. You went somewhere in Southern Illinois, and people looked at you crazy because you're Asian. Isn't that? Jessica said something like that. People gave you weird looks.
Oh man, yeah, that's. It was It was. I think we were like the only like foreigners there, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was somewhere south, and it was a very old town. So I could imagine it was just. I didn't see any people our age, probably because it was a Sunday.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got some. I mean. I don't blame them. I guess they haven't seen people like us down there in their turf, you know.
Yeah.
But it was fun. They had like history museums down there, and everyone was nice though. Even though we got kind of like double takes and stuff, but everyone was pretty nice. So.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's funny that it's something like if you look at like the 20 worst towns in the United States, like 6 of them are in Illinois. Like Rockford is up there.
Huh.
Rockford.
Worse as in like
the most dangerous. Like Flint. Yeah, Flint, Michigan, I think is number 1, or like Detroit's number 1.
Okay.
Like Oakland is up there. Oakland's actually getting better, but Oakland's up there. Like Rockford, Illinois is up there. Aurora is up there. And there's like all these like towns in Illinois. You're like, oh my god!
I had no idea. I live so close to them all, and it's just I had no clue.
If you're a Chicagoan, Illinois ends, I think, when you get past, I think once you get past like 95th Street. Okay. If you go south in Chicago, that's where Illinois kind of ends.
Okay.
In my mind, there's just nothing south of there. It's just like corn and then Florida. In my mind, that's what's kind of what it is. It's like you're in the Chicago like loop, and then if you go north, there's like Milwaukee, and then there's St. Paul, Minnesota, and then Canada, and then west is like Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. That's in my mind what the United States looks like. And just south of Chicago is nothing. It's like the Mad Max universe. It's just wasteland. There's nothing down there.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I need a road trip there with Jessica and see what's going on. We're planning on going to Tennessee later this year.
Nice.
So that'll be fun. Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll take some pictures to let you know if it's Mad Max.
Yeah,
out there.
Yeah, if you guys see the dudes on the oil tankers with like the spears and stuff.
Oh fuck yeah!
Please take pictures.
Yeah, I definitely will, man.
So what are you guys planning on doing in Tennessee?
Whitewater rafting.
What?
Smoky Mountains. Yeah, and maybe zip lining.
Ooh, zip lining's fun.
Yeah. I've been ziplining, but it's always been at like these boring places. Like really like kiddie ones. So So I'm looking forward to like real.
Yeah. I did ziplining a few years ago in Mexico at the longest. It wasn't the highest. It was the longest zipline in Central America. So like distance wise, it was pretty cool. Except it was a little scary because the trees were pretty close to your feet. So I mean, the trees were probably like 10 feet below your feet, but that's really close when you're thinking about like.
Yeah.
I'm like, I better keep
how it like swishes next to you.
Yeah, I'm like, I probably better keep my feet up, otherwise I'm gonna break an ankle.
Oh, for sure.
Like hitting a branch.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're doing whitewater rafting, Shawnn. You need more swim coaching from me.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I know. I don't want to drown. I get like flayed off the boat.
Yeah, dude.
Or the raft or whatever I'm gonna be in.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm swim coaching Shawnn.
Low key. Yeah. But yeah, it's been fun. Yeah, I do need to actually be able to. Well, actually, they come with jackets, right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, with whitewater rafting and stuff like that, you are wearing a life jacket. But it's probably good to know how to swim just a little bit. I mean, you're pretty good, but it's probably good to know how to swim just because if you get flung off. That life jacket isn't going to prevent you from dying. It's just going to prevent you from going underwater. That life jacket's not going to swim for you.
Right.
It's just going to make you more buoyant.
They should make jackets like that.
Yeah, ones with little propellers on the back.
Oh yeah.
Patent that.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. So we're outside. This is going to be bad radio. Do you smell? Doesn't it smell like cigarettes? It definitely does.
No.
What does it smell?
I think
like?
you're crazy, man. Doesn't smell like anything.
Guys, I think I'm maybe a stroke.
Barbecue? Oh god, barbecue.
Dude, it's not barbecue.
No, I don't smell anything.
Okay, whatever.
It smells like nature to me, man.
Maybe I'm not outside enough. Oh, yeah, for those of you who don't know, I talked about on the last podcast with Emma, and fun fact for those of you looking in to my universe, I'm recording this, and then Emma and I are going to record a podcast either later tonight or tomorrow.
Oh.
So this is going to probably come out today or maybe tomorrow. I actually just had full knee surgery, so I haven't really been outside much since last Thursday. And that has been really fun, having complete knee surgery and having them remove the grossest thing in the universe from my knee. It's like removing like a little alien from the back of my leg. Not to get too into detail, unless people want to know, because probably on the next one with Emma, we're going to talk about my knee and how gross it is and how I can't walk right now. But, you know, that's just life. But, yeah, guys, it smells like cigarettes out here, and I don't know what's going on.
No, it doesn't.
Do these plants smell like cigarettes? Like, no, it's not them. Something smells like cigarettes. I thought you brought water. I'm like, did you bring water out here?
No, dude, I wish, man. This is my first podcast ever.
I know.
I should have brought water.
You know
I
what?
knew I was missing something.
I know. I should have brought water. I usually have water because I record upstairs in there. We have an office upstairs It's essentially a filing room now.
Okay.
But it's technically, it could be an extra bedroom or anything, but just there's a desk in it with a bunch of like paperwork.
Oh, okay.
And that's where I have this set up usually because it's the most quiet room in my house and the most like
Got
soundproof. And I have like a bunch of water bottles up there and like stuff.
Good.
But
I'm losing my voice out here.
I know.
Where's the hose? Can we use the hose there?
Yeah, it's on the side of the house.
All right, perfect. I'll be right back, guys.
You know what? That Chicago water is really good. It's like the best water in the United States.
I can't tell if you're sarcastic.
No, I'm serious.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like Chicago water is rated like one of the best, like out of the tap waters in the United States.
No fishy, oily smell?
Yeah, no fishy, oily smell.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you know those things out in the lake if you're in the city and you're looking out in those buildings?
Uh-huh.
Those are called cribs. Those are old water reclamation plants.
Oh.
Seriously.
They're not in commission anymore?
I don't think all of them are in commission. I know if one or two of them still is, but if you're downtown in the Loop and you're looking straight out into the lake, there's one you can see just straight from like Grant Park. That's called the 3 Mile Crib. When I used to sail, we had races. So we'd start at the yacht club and you'd race 3 miles out and 3 miles back.
Whoa.
And you have to round the crib and come back. And that was a whole day's worth of practice because that takes like 4 hours.
Yeah, it sounds pretty intense.
Because you're just sailing straight for 3 miles. And if it was really windy, it's not long because 3 miles in a car doesn't seem long, but you're in a boat with no... Your only propulsion is wind, and if the wind dies, you're stuck out there. I mean, there was like there's like a speedboat out there to help bring us back in,
just
and make
in
sure the
case.
Coast Guard doesn't run over us.
What's considered long then? 3 miles?
Like a
or
race,
anything over like a mile? 2
like
miles?
in a regatta, like a high school one, the races are actually super short. Maybe they're a mile, but you go back and forth a bunch of times.
Oh, okay.
But like a big ocean race, like Orange Bowl or Buzzards Bay or like Nationals, those races or the Olympics, those are a few miles. And so a race for those guys takes probably 45 minutes to an hour. And you're constantly just like hiking out. So you're like laying outside the boat. It's pretty intense. It uses a lot of core muscles. It's a lot of staying very still outside of a boat and kind of rocking back and forth while in a plank position. So you're not moving a whole lot unless you're turning or tacking. But you're kind of just holding a plank for an hour.
Jeez.
So it's a lot of core muscles, but it's like slow twitch versus fast twitch muscles. So it's tough. It makes you very fit and like kind of like how a mountain climber is, versus like a football player that's really big. So you're like lean and fit.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I know. But then I stopped sailing, and then I got all out of shape, and now I have to get back in shape. But this stupid ass knee thing is not helping that situation at all.
Would you ever consider sailing again?
I could have gone pro if it wasn't for my knee. You know what?
You got an arrow in your knee.
Yeah, I used to be cool until I got an arrow in the knee. If you guys don't get that reference, I'm really sorry. I'm not explaining it. You know what? I will 100% would sail again. Probably not competitively like I was doing with like the national team guys.
Oh yeah,
that was a lot. But actually, my laser is actually behind my car.
Oh, is it?
It's literally on the side of the garage. It's just sitting there.
Just taking a look later.
Yeah, you can go see it. It's literally it's very non-exciting. But it's literally sitting on the side of my garage. But yeah, so technically I could go sail it whenever. So yeah, I would do it again. I don't know. There's a lot of pros and cons to it. It takes a lot of time. I still have all the gear, and sailing is one of those things like riding a bike you never forget. But I probably wouldn't be very good at it right now. I'm just so like out of like the circuit where I'd be like, oh my god, I'd be like a beginner again, just like skill wise. Sorry for those of you who are listening. Our neighbors are taking out the garbage, and we are outside, so you can hear it.
Hey, this adds to the authenticity of this podcast.
It makes people believe that this podcast is actually really happening, and it adds to the continuity of the universe.
I am not a robot.
Yeah, Shawnn's not a robot. Shawnn's really here, guys, and I'm so happy to actually be doing a podcast with another person in the room. Not that I don't love doing them over FaceTime, but it's a little different because there's like lag and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
And you always have to make sure
distortions and stuff.
Yeah, you always have to make sure the person is like still there and hearing you. But this way, there's no way you can't. But yeah, so what else? I had a bunch of questions for you, and then I completely blanked on like all of them.
Dang, you should have wrote them down.
You know what? I actually did have them written down. I literally had them written down on paper upstairs where this was. Because I was half expecting you to just FaceTime me.
Forget the water.
I know. Okay. What thing do you think is most overrated about like American culture? Speaking from like a Taiwanese, like, so that could be like American reality TV or cheeseburgers. Like, what is the most overrated thing about American pop culture?
Well, you see, I'm very like, I was raised in still am very traditional kind of setting, So everything is like overrated to me, but not really, because like I'm kind of used to it. But I would sometimes hear my dad yelling like, "Oh my god, this crap is so stupid," or like, "Why would they do this?" I think I'm not sure. I need to think really hard about this.
I'm not going to drop the question, Shawnn. We're gonna stay on it until you can come up with an answer.
Okay. Personally, I think The Bachelorette.
Okay.
If we're talking about TV shows, Bachelorette
Yes.
and Bachelor, I think they're kind of stupid.
Oh my god! I don't want to wait for 12 weeks to watch someone pick a fake husband.
Yeah, and then they just like break up after like 3 months, and then it's just.
I think it's been out for like 20 years. I think
I can't believe that. 20
one
years.
couple has lasted. That's it. Out of all of them, I think one.
One couple.
I think maybe from The Bachelorette, maybe two.
Yeah.
But from The Bachelor, I think it's only one couple, and it's from like season 3. It's like one of the early couples, maybe season 2. And yeah, that's really overrated. I think in general, contest shows, like America's Got Talent or like American Idol, all of that stuff, I hate it.
I actually like that.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh man.
I actually like those shows. And speaking of those shows, and including The Bachelorette and Bachelor, there's a lot of copycat shows in China, and it kind of leaks over to Taiwan and other countries. But speaking of The Bachelor or Bachelorette, it's not the same. It's not like 100% the same, but they have this thing in China that broadcasts in Taiwan. I guess anywhere actually in Asia, but it's a Chinese dating show called I think it's called Are You the One? It's very, very interesting. So they have one guy come in, and there is a stage of 24 bachelorettes, little ladies, and he introduces himself, and he has like a story that they pre-record on the big screen, and these girls would like either buzz in or buzz out. Actually buzz out, depending on if they like the guy or not. And then at the very end, if it's down to 2 or 3, the guy gets to pick which girl that he wants to go on a date with, because they get sponsored with like a date to like the Caribbeans or something.
What? That's awesome.
It's a really cool show. It's very interesting, and you get a lot of like foreigners, like a lot of people from U.S. that speak Chinese, or like from Europe that speak Chinese, or even from Africa or Brazil.
That's so cool. Yeah. So, what is your opinion of those, like, I'm sure they're not crazy in Japan, but like Americans, those crazy Japanese game shows where just like, what is going on? So there's one that's kind of blown up online. It's this one where there's guys and there's girls competing at separate times, but they're just trying to climb a flight of stairs, but they're all greased up.
Oh, that one's hilarious.
Okay,
yeah,
so what is the deal with those? Maybe you can help answer some of these questions.
You're talking about the Japanese one, or is there an American version of that?
No, I don't think there's an American version.
Oh man, imagine
I wish.
Yeah, I thought they did, huh? For a second, I thought they did.
Maybe I remember incorrectly. I'm gonna go in and watch it right now. But so, what is up with those shows?
I don't know. I think it's just funny. It's just funny watching grown ass adults like fall on their asses and like wear diapers and do stupid things.
I mean, we had Fear Factor forever, so I mean, it's pretty much the same.
I thought Fear Factor was like really serious. I loved that as a kid.
Oh my god, yeah, Joe Rogan with Fear Factor.
He made it so serious.
He did, and it was like amazing. Like
$50,000 on the line,
and you have to eat a reindeer penis, and then climb through fire, and then like swim
a cockroach up your ass.
Yeah, it's like all these crazy things. I'm like, who thinks of these, and who's gonna like audition for Fear Factor and be like, yeah, dude, I'm cool with eating a bunch of rats. Yeah, no duh. And I'm like, okay, I get you're trying to prove something or whatever, bro, but like, I don't think $50,000 is enough for me to eat a raw reindeer penis. Actually, what is the least amount of money someone could give you to eat a raw reindeer penis?
Oh,
like you had like just cut off right here, and then I'm giving it to you.
Like sashimi style.
Yeah, it is sashimi.
Oh crap!
But it's a full one. It's not filleted. It's a full blown thing.
I don't even know how big a full reindeer penis is, but if I was hungry enough.
No, right now.
Now.
What's the least amount of money someone could Like, what's the least you'll take?
I would say, $10K.
Dude, I'm saying $500,000 because you don't get any salt. You don't get anything. It is just you
straight up.
It is you and that reindeer penis.
Ah, shit. No blender.
No blender, dude.
No blender?
It is. You get a fork and a knife, but you get a butter knife. You don't even get a steak knife. You get one of those like little. You get an Olive Garden butter knife and a fork, and you get a spork.
Yeah, you know, I would eat anything that's like not human. I guess. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, okay.
Any game. I'm down to try anything new. So it doesn't take much for me to budge.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I know I've done this on the show before. Maybe I haven't. What's the least amount of money it would take for you to eat human meat? Okay, let me preface.
God.
Wait, let me preface this.
No.
Let me preface this.
How do we get on this topic?
Okay, so here's how this works. This is the scenario. You're at a really fine restaurant, like you're a really nice date, or you're there with your family, and on the menu it says human meat. The human meat has not been murdered. It's someone's dying wish to be served on a menu. That is where they got the meat from. It's someone who, like, this is their dying wish, is to be served to other people, right?
That's a great premise. For us.
So, like, it's not, no one's being murdered. There's no foul play. There's no crime. There's nothing illegal happening here. And it's prepared the same way you do, I don't know, a steak or something.
It's his last wish.
Yeah, this is like,
man,
this
you're gonna
guy's.
make me cry, Russell.
This is this
man.
guy's, like, dying wish is to be served at a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that's illegal and you couldn't do that, but let's say it wasn't. What is the least amount of money it would take for you to order that?
Oh.
And you don't know the person is dead, and he wanted this to happen.
I would not. No.
What is the least amount of money? Like, gun to your head, what is the least amount of money?
Oh, man. I don't know.
I'm saying...
What would you say?
My joke is I would do it for free. That's always my joke with this thing. But in reality, if I was at a restaurant and this was like a whole like game show or competition to do this, I'd probably say $100,000 because then I'd have to live with the fact that I ate a person,
right?
And that'd be really weird, and I couldn't sit with that, and I'd probably freak out and vomit. But probably $100,000.
Dude, I would be like $10 billion.
$100,000, enough money that I can put a down payment on my Lamborghini. That's enough money.
Why shoot so low? Go like $10 billion.
No one has $10 billion. It has to be a realistic. You know what? Maybe $500,000. I can buy my Lamborghini, and then people will be like, "How'd you get that?" I'm like, "I ate a person for this," and that's a weird story that you could tell people when they ask you about your Lamborghini when you go to the jewel.
What do you do for a living?
I eat humans.
Oh, I eat thighs.
Yeah, I eat
human thighs.
Okay, this is a gross question. Next gross question. I'm sorry for people listening. I'm going to ask it.
It's
Shawnn,
getting weird, man. The sun sets already.
I know, yeah. It's getting dark. It's getting weird out here. What would be the most tasty part of a human?
Oh, jeez.
I have my answer.
Oh, yeah?
What's
You're
yours?
smirking, man. The most tastiest. I want to say, I guess the thigh, right? Because it has like a little bit of fat, a little bit of...
I was thinking the same thing.
A little bit of... Oh, yeah? Okay.
I was thinking human drumstick.
Yeah. Well, it kind of, we do look kind of like a drumstick. Even the arms, the arms, we fold up our arms.
Yeah.
We look like a wing, like a chicken wing.
Yeah,
kind of.
human drumstick. That's what I'm saying. You and I go to the gym all the time together. I've thought about it. I'm like, that guy might be really tasty. I'm totally kidding about that, guys. I'm not a cannibal. That's going to get leaked somewhere, and people are like, Russell wants to eat humans. I 100% do not.
No,
but if in that world where we have to get to that point, you heard it here first, human thigh meat, let's do that.
Oh, yeah. Soy sauce, too.
Oh, yeah.
Make it teriyaki.
There we go. Fry it a little bit. Why are we talking about this? How the hell did we get on this topic? Jesus H. Christ.
See, you made eating human appetizing now, man.
I did.
I didn't even want to think about it, but now I'm just thinking about
now you're really thinking about your
getting chicken thighs.
Also, neither of us have had dinner, and I'm really hungry.
Yeah,
so
that's
the
why
more
I'm
I
starving.
think, yeah, exactly. Okay, so last point before we end, because we're almost at 50 minutes.
No way.
And yeah, seriously, we're at 48 right now.
All right.
So let's talk about. You have a project for me, Shawnn. Let's talk about your project.
Yeah, I do have a project. So, as you know, I'm in a grad school, and I have this marketing class that requires us to spend like 6 or 7 weeks creating this infomercial and commercial. And what better person to go to than the Russ and getting his expertise on this.
It's Shawnn scraping the bottom of the barrel. He literally couldn't find anybody else. He called everybody. He's like, God damn it, now I have to find Russell. But no, I'm honored that you want me to help you with this project. I think we can make it really fun.
Yeah, definitely. I look forward to working with you, and it's going to be great. And if we get a chance after we finish this project, we should definitely come back on this podcast and discuss it and talk about all the fun parts.
And talk about the fun parts and how we're never speaking to each other again, because the process of making a video always makes people kind of hate each other.
Oh, really?
Oh, dude, it's like, you know when you work in a group project in grade school, and there's always like, not to shout out anybody, but there's always like one person in a group project that does too much work, and there's always one person that takes credit for work that they didn't do, or one person that kind of coasts.
Yeah, it sits on the sunbathing thing, drinking a martini.
Yeah, videos, working on movies is a little bit of the same, except on a bigger scale. I've never had horrible problems with it. I've had a little bit of issue, and sometimes you're like, it might be easier if I just didn't do any of this at all. But since you're a grad student and working with other grad students, I think people will be more respectful. Because I've worked on some projects where people are very disrespectful about other people's time. And the amount of work that you're putting in and the amount of compensation you're getting for it is definitely not adding up. Oh, I'm sorry for that. So, yeah, I just had to go off on that. And if you're one of those people out there who takes offense to that, you deserve to take offense for that. And you know who you are. Yeah, shots fired. I'm sorry. But to everybody else who's helped me with videos and everything else, thank you so much. You're very helpful. But yeah, so we're at about time right now for this.
Okay.
Shawnn, if you had right now, I need you to tell people who are listening. I want them to watch, to eat, to drink, and to look up one thing Taiwanese. So what should they watch? What's one Taiwanese thing they should watch?
Well, I personally like watching just the night market. There's this thing in Taiwan called night markets. I just love watching people go to the night markets and get food. Because I'm a big foodie. And, you know, once it hits 11 p.m., you're about to go to bed, you're hungry, you're like, man, I need to watch a food video. So that's what I like to watch. There's a lot of really cool things and foods, interesting things.
Okay, what's one thing that people in the U.S. who are listening right now, and even if you're not listening in the U.S., what's one Taiwanese food thing that you want people to try right now?
They should try the Taiwanese breakfast pancake.
Okay. What's it called?
In Chinese or in Taiwanese?
Yeah.
Good question. I don't know.
Okay, so Taiwanese breakfast pancakes.
Yep.
What's one thing that you should look up about Taiwan? What's something that people should learn about Taiwan?
The culture, the history, where they came from, and the places you should go to that are based on real life movies and cartoons, such as Spirited Away. There's this place in Taiwan called Jiufeng that was based from
the bathhouse.
It's the bathhouse. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, we should do a whole Hayao Miyazaki episode.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
totally. I got to marathon those, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay. Okay. Then what's one thing that from Taiwan people should drink? Like one kind of liquid.
Oh man, the boba tea. Have you heard of the boba tea? Yeah.
Okay, so
I think that originated in Taiwan.
There's a car pulling into my driveway, guys, so we're going to end really quick before the dogs start barking. So boba tea, the Chinese history, or Taiwanese history, boba tea. Then we're going to go with the pancakes, and then we're going to do Asian night market watching and Taiwanese night market watching when you're up late and and you're hungry and you want something good to watch. So
heck yeah.
That was Shawnn.
That was me.
And this is See What Sticks, a podcast about everything and nothing. I am your co-host, Russell. If you want to reach the show, you know how to do it. It's always in the description below. Send us all your stuff. I'm setting up the Patreon right now for people who want to see videos. I'm actually going to start logging my knee recovery. So for all the people out there who want to see that, thank you so much for listening again. This is episode 30-something because I'm not recording these in order. And thank you so much for listening. This was Shawnn. He was a first-time guest. He will be returning. And thank you so much. And I hope you have an amazing time. And goodbye.
Till next time.